So this is Professor Arif Herekar. We will continue from where I stopped. We were almost going to land on the base camp of Mount McKinley on the Alaskan mountain range. This is the highest peak in North America, and we had almost done that in my previous episode. But before I talk about my landing, I think I must revert back to the start, before the start of my trip, or the flight from the Talkeetna air taxi stand. My very kind-hearted guide was able to take me to a little model in the museum in the air taxi stand to tell me exactly how people climb the different areas, the southern and the northern peaks of Mount McKinley, and we were able to discuss. I'll take you over and you can see what he's telling me.
Acclimate. But that's the route that most people take.
You start from there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, but when it was...
And this number one is the peak.
The number one is the South Peak. Now, I'll show you over here.
And number two is the
North Peak.
And
Yeah.
South Peak.
Now, from here...
Tell me, when we fly, when we take a flight, do we go here?
You would come from over 18, or back over there. Talkeetna would be over here. And you'd come up and fly through here and land on where it's number 7 on the Kahiltna Glacier.
Okay. This is where we land, right?
Yeah, that's where you would land. And the planes can't fly over the top because it's too
high. It's 20,000, right?
It's 20,000.
Above number one is 20,000.
Something or other. Now, remember I told you that when the two plates with mashed potatoes hit each other, there's all these little mountains on this side. On this side, these mountains are about 2,000 feet here, and it goes straight up 18,000 feet or 3 miles, just pretty much straight up with no features, no other mountains in front of it. And the first time it was ever climbed was the people came from the north side. They had to cross a river, and then they came up this glacier here on the backside. This is one of just 2 or 3 glaciers on the north side, and they walked up the back way to get to the top. And they
The South Peak.
To the top of the mountain.
Are these the landing sites?
No, these are glaciers.
Oh, that's the landing site, right?
That's the landing site over there.
It's almost like a base camp, huh?
Yeah, that's the base camp at 7.
So after this amazing information about the climbers and the climbing to the peaks of Mount McKinley, we finally started to taxi after landing, and I'll take you back to the area of Mount McKinley and the Alaskan tundra. Tundra is basically supposed to be an ecosystem with treeless regions found especially in the Arctic and on the tops of the mountains, where the climate is cold and windy and the rainfall is scanty. So we started to taxi down on the base camp of Mount McKinley, and we were actually using the DHC-3 Otter aircraft. Let me tell you about this aircraft. It was designed to be larger and more robust, short takeoff and landing. So these were actually used, these are Canadian made, and they were used in the war, and this type was introduced with high wing and went on to become one of the most prevalent bush air vehicles during this peak, carrying twice the amount of payload than the previous generations. So taxiing on the snow-capped mountain, then we were able to land on the base camp, and I will take you over live to the base camp where I was being interviewed by and photographed.
Here I am with Dave here, and this is Mount McKinley right behind me. And this place is fabulous, absolutely amazing. And so is Dave. This flight was totally uneventful. God has been very kind to us today. The weather has been fine. I missed it 2 days ago, but today I will have finally made it. This place is amazing. The mountain range, Dave. This mountain range is called the
Alaska Range.
The Alaska Mountain Range. And behind me, as you see, Mount McKinley. This is the highest peak in North America.
Yes, it
it's
is.
20,000 plus feet.
Right, 6,200 meters.
6,200 meters. And this is, can I just move around?
Sure.
You can, yeah. And Dave, this is the plane that brought us here. If you can get behind.
Yeah.
And this is the plane that brought us here. Absolutely amazing. Dave is a great photographer. We are making a movie so that, we can project it on the YouTube, and I hope we are successful in doing that. You can just take it around.
Sure.
Absolutely fabulous, Dave. You are just great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is
by my wonderful pilot, Dave. And so after having stayed there, enjoyed the feeling. Now, it's very important for people to travel to these areas because you cannot really describe the feeling. You have to be there to feel how beautiful the area is. And when you look at Mount McKinley from the base camp, it is an amazing sight. Although the peak of Mount McKinley, when I was standing, was right behind me, if you can see, it was covered by clouds. But then again, the feeling was absolutely amazing. Now, we were not the only ones. We had two other aircrafts there, and these aircrafts they also use these single-engine aircrafts like the Cessnas and the Mountain Voyagers. So we saw, actually, I witnessed two of these, probably the Mountain Voyager aircraft taking off while I was still enjoying myself on the base camp of Mount McKinley. And of course, having spent that with my pilot who gave me so much information about how things are, I was then able to get back into the cockpit. Now, like I've already said in the previous episode, that the seating in the cockpit was absolutely spot on because you could see the front views, you could see the side views, and you could see a very, very broad and clear view of the peaks of these mountain ranges, these Alaskan mountain ranges, which is almost like a no man's land. They're full of risk. Of course, I must almost also mention that these flights are never easy. You can have a very foggy area, foggy flight, and there may be a very, very poor visibility, which we encountered for a while. And I'm sure you have seen that. You can see that on the video. So all in all, it was an adventure of a lifetime. And I'm telling you, those people, those youngsters who are dynamic, youngsters who are adventurous, youngsters who like to travel big, they must attempt to go into Talkeetna, which is not very far from Anchorage. It's almost an hour and a half, 2 hours driving time, and then take this Talkeetna air taxi, flying over 50 kilometers away, landing on the base camp of Mount McKinley. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. This is another adventure, and I'm sure youngsters will learn from it, and whenever they have the finances, the time, and the energy, they will try and get there and land at the base camp of Mount McKinley and actually feel the presence. Description is not enough. Hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you have, do subscribe to our channel. Do write a little note or a message under the video on the YouTube, and if you think it's worth it, this flight was worth it, press the like icon. Thank you.